That's right. That's right.
All right, here we go.
I wouldn't have made it.
Good evening and welcome to the June 17, 2024 meeting of the City of Tuscaloosa Planning and Zoning Commission. This meeting allows for alternative participation in order to accommodate all citizens. Any written comments sent to staff or forwarded to the commission directly. This time, I'd like to introduce our staff: Mr. Jimbo Woodson, Deputy City Attorney; Michael Garner, City Engineer; Zach Pons, Director of Planning; Haley Webb, Development Review Coordinator; and Lily McIntyre, Special Projects Coordinator. There are 9 members of the Planning Commission, all of them are appointed by the mayor for staggered terms, with the exception of the City Council representative, who is appointed by the City Council. I ask the commission members to introduce themselves and state their occupations, starting with Ms. Hornsby.
Ann Hornsby, attorney.
Councilwoman Raven Howard, District 2.
Eddie Pugh, retired.
Vince Duty, Design Coordinator, UA.
Dina Prince, attorney.
John Smith, Deputy Director, Environmental Services.
Tim Harrison, General Contractor.
Bill Wright, business owner. And Mr. Rumsey's on his way down. There are sign-up sheets outside for public comment. 4 speakers are allowed to speak in favor of a petition, and 4 are allowed to speak in opposition of a petition. All speakers will have a maximum of 5 minutes unless the commission votes to allow a longer time. The commission will take up items in order of our final agenda. The commission will initially receive a presentation from the staff as to the details of the agenda item. Additionally, we may hear certain matters involving the same property, such as an annexation and a zoning matter concurrently, although we will take separate votes on each matter involving the same property. After the staff presentation, we'll then call upon the petitioner to present their case. The petitioner will have a maximum of 10 minutes unless the commission votes to allow a longer time. At the conclusion of the petitioner's remarks, we'll then call on any other party in order of sign-up or otherwise who desires to support the petition, and thereafter we'll call in order those who sign up in opposition of the petition. When it's your turn for comment, please introduce yourself, stating your name and address to the commission to provide your remarks. Any written comments have been included into the record. After receiving the remarks of those who oppose the petition, the petitioner will have the opportunity to address those objections. Any rebuttal will be limited to 2 minutes unless the commission votes to allow a longer time. If the petitioner presents any new information in response to the objections, we will allow those who oppose the opportunity to respond to the new information only. Any response will be limited to 2 minutes unless the commission votes to allow a longer time. During the course of this presentation, you may be interrupted by any member of the commission for clarification or additional information. Such interruptions will not reduce your time. Once the commission members are satisfied they have received all relevant information, I will then close for further discussion by the public, at which time the commission members will discuss the matter and then vote. After the vote, you are free to leave. These proceedings are video recorded and broadcast live. All in-person public comments should be made at the podium into the microphone. Comments made by phone or virtually are video recorded through the conferencing application. So again, please first state your name and address for the record. Jurisdiction. In all matters pertaining to subdivision regulations, approval of subdivisions within the city and its planning jurisdiction, and as to amendments, planned unit developments, and located outside the city limits, this commission serves as the final authority. As to matters pertaining to historic buffer zone construction, our decision is subject to appeal to the City Council. As to all remaining agenda matters, including original zonings, rezonings, planned unit developments within the city, and street vacations, this commission serves as a recommending body to the City Council. In that regard, our decisions are in the form of a recommendation to be presented to the City Council, and the City Council will make the final decision on those matters. Subdivision approvals require the affirmative votes of 6 members of the Planning Commission. All matters which are recommendation to the City Council require a majority vote for an affirmative recommendation. At this time, I would ask, do any members of the commission have any conflicts of interest as to any agenda matters before us tonight? If so, please state for the record. Okay, having heard none. I would ask the staff to confirm on the record that proper notice has been given to all parties in interest as required by law as to all matters before the commission tonight.
It has.
All right, there has been a change to the agenda. The following agenda items have been modified. The petitioner for the Dawkins Place PUD, consisting of the 4 companion cases, has requested to continue their petition to the following month. Do I hear a motion, a second, to move this item on the agenda? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Okay, ayes have it.
Mr. Chairman, I would request that the Dawkins owner, if he's here, and/or the engineer come up and address this commission to tell us what he's proposed, why this occurred, why this delay request occurred.
Staff, and we agree with that. We are going to have a formal request by the petitioner for the continuance. Out of respect for those who have spent time and energy to be here tonight and sent multiple emails to us, we feel it's important that we get to hear from you. Also, the petitioner can hear from you. And that way, this might help both parties get to an amicable place. We'll address that very shortly. Mr.
That's right.
Pines?
Yeah, so we'll do approval of minutes, consent agenda, and then it'll be this
Right.
case.
It's in the, we'll bring it up when we call it up, but we will do it that way for all you folks that are here and present. So, with that being said, we'll begin with the approval of the minutes. As to the Planning and Zoning Commission has received the synopsis for the May 2024 meeting, I move that we dispense with the reading of the minutes of the same unless there are any deletions, additions, or corrections. All those in favor of approving the minutes, say aye. Aye. Those opposed, ayes have it. Staff?
Good evening, Commission. There are 2 items on the consent agenda this evening, and I do not believe that anyone has signed up to speak for or against.
Does anyone care to speak for or against these 2 consent agenda items? Having heard none, Commission, before us, we have 2 consent agenda items. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, ayes have it. Consent agenda approved.
All right, and now we do have 4 cases requesting to continue. They all are in coordination with the Dawkins Place PUD. So we'll let that petitioner come forward.
So we'll ask the petitioner to come up and state his request.
Hey, good evening. I'm Tom Sims with Longleaf Engineering on behalf of the petitioner. Apologize for the late continuance. The developer had previously reached out to the HOA president to discuss the project, and they had a couple of discussions, but they were not able to actually meet with the actual homeowners or HOA as of today's date. We didn't really get any comments back from the adjacent landowners until Friday. The city sent over multiple comments Friday, and then even more today, including the petition that you guys have seen. And so there are some things that the developer would like to address, would like to sit down and meet with the HOA and any concerned citizens living adjacent to there. And so they're more than willing to do that, but of course, just didn't get done in time for this meeting. So I can't answer anything you guys talk about regarding the subdivision if y'all want to get into that. But I know there's a lot of people here to talk about it, and so certainly willing to address anything there.
Mr. Sims, first of all, I don't know what's going on with your mic. You stand a little closer to your mic, you barely hear you. There you go. The items, you said that the homeowners gave you a list of items as late as Friday of concern.
That's when the city started, I don't know if they actually received them before Friday, but the city first started sharing concerned emails and petitions on Friday.
Items such as?
Such as their concerns with the subdivision, traffic, density, typical things that we normally hear with these types of subdivisions. Nothing that I saw that was unusual per se.
Your developer's not here tonight, correct?
Correct, yes, sir.
Is he willing to meet with the homeowner association?
100%. Their intent was to try to accomplish that beforehand, and I think when she was talking to the HOA president. They were having some conversations about a shared maintenance agreement with a pond and that sort of thing. And she had indicated to them that they had a regular scheduled meeting the end of this month, which is after this meeting. And so we didn't hear any further concerns at that time, so we were proceeding on until we started getting the emails and comments from the city starting Friday.
I think if you'll turn around and look and see the number of people in this audience, this is gonna be a heavy lift to make this.
I'm aware, yes, sir.
Any other questions for petitioner? Anything else you want to add?
I mean, I think there are a couple, 2 or 3 items that I noticed that were sort of repeatable through the comments. One is the traffic. Everyone's concerned because the subdivision is tying to the stub-out streets that exist, and you know we've crossed that bridge many times. I don't know how much more I want to elaborate on that. I mean, you guys know it as well as I do about the connectivity that we're trying to achieve in the city. And with that being said, this is a completely separate piece of property. Completely separate piece of property, you know, and is not affiliated with the adjacent subdivision. So it is a subdivision within itself, and I can understand a lot of the concerns about, you know, these houses are not like ours, but again, it's a different development. So from that standpoint, you know, I'm not sure what we could do to accommodate a lot of the concerns, but I know a lot of them are just concerned with the streets tying together, and now it kind of gives a feel of connectivity or a connection between the two subdivisions. I think that was one of the biggest concerns that I saw, of course with the density as well, but it is a large piece of property.
So, real quick, one of my questions was going to be, and I'll go ahead and tell you this, the decision for the developer to want to annex into the city when majority of the subdivisions down there, or adjacent subdivisions, are not annexed. They fell under the code where we
It's
connect
sort
the
of,
city.
yes, sir, I understood. It's sort of a unique development, which is the reason why we're kind of in the PUD classification, even within the city, due to the different lot sizes, house size, and even a townhome product on there. The county doesn't really have they really don't have an avenue for that sort of product, not in their subdivision regulations. And, you know, it's pretty straightforward for the county, you know, just large setbacks and, you know, and not much beyond that. So, you know, we felt like annexation rezoning was the best avenue. Of course, we'd be tying to the city sewer system as well, water as well.
Well, I know that the developer's not here. I encourage the developer to read these comments. I'm sure you'll share them with them. Also, maybe watch this live broadcast.
Sure.
You watch it, 'cause I think we're going to bring up 4 speakers from those in opposition. But out of respect, also, we're going to let the county commissioner speak first and not make that one of the 4. I think that also will give you a feel for how the county feels about this, and maybe between now and the next month, you guys can tweak the project and maybe get to a better place. Or if you can even get to a better place, we don't know.
Sure, understood.
So please listen to those coming up.
I want to ask, you said that this project was different than the next neighborhood next to it, so is it going to be different materials or what? In my opinion, it needs to be built similar to the structure next to it and the neighborhood next to it to keep the home values higher. Are you talking about you building a?
Yes, sir. I do not think that they're planning to build a product similar to that. You know, they have their own product, and it was submitted with the PUD package, should be part of the package of what you see for elevations and sizing and price points. I mean, they do not, again, I think they just consider this a brand-new development. You know, it's a new piece of property, a new development, and, you know, the similarities really stop there as far as the adjacent subdivision. We need to tie to the streets, and I know that's what gives a lot of people pause there. But
But you've also got a multi-million-dollar Shelton campus next to it. It's, to me, nice and modern and everything, and I think that it would be conducive that everything down in that area be built kind of the similar products so that it would keep the value of everything up.
Well, it's not, I wouldn't say it's completely dissimilar from everything around there. It's just dissimilar mainly from, Waterford, the main project, or the main products in Waterford, particularly in the front. I think they even have a garden home section in the back. I hadn't went through and made a similarity between those homes and what's going on, but I know they have some different products in there, as well as Inverness. This is probably more similar product to Inverness if I had to guess, and that's just north of Waterford.
It's not next to me, I wouldn't like it.
So I have a question. So is it safe to say that by annexing in to the city, you were able to get more density, more houses by doing that, opposed to not annexing into the city?
I think for the particular I think the houses would probably be a similar density if we were to remain in the county, but they don't have but we were trying to incorporate townhomes as well as the lot sizes. So I think in that respect, we would be adding some density due to the townhome product.
Anyone else? Thank you. Let's hear from County Commissioner Nelson, and then we'll get to our speaker.
First of all, thank you guys for letting me come. You can probably hear me. I may need to back that off a little bit. I'm sorry. But I want to thank you for what you do. I always thank you when I come, but I know it's not easy. And I appreciate you taking your time to listen to me today and letting these other four people speak who I think will let you know what the thoughts of the community are about this development. And let me start out by saying, just frankly, there are no developments similar to this developer's developments except their developments. And I think that says a lot. They're not similar to what's next door. They're not similar to what's across the street. They're not similar to what's down the street. This particular developer has their own way of doing things, and my personal opinion is that it doesn't really conform to what the other areas down there are like, or what most people want. We want investment in our community. We want growth in our community, but development for the sake of development and for pure dollars is just not something that our community can frankly tolerate. So just touching on a couple of things in general terms. The connectivity, I've talked to you guys about connectivity before. I think the design and the intention of the connectivity was, and the neighbors had the right to expect a similar or equal development of something that they had. And I understand why that connectivity is there in the planning jurisdiction. I don't think that that's what's happening here. You're not combining two similar things. You're quite dissimilar in that respect. And also, they front Old Greensboro. Look, I'm not for this development. You obviously know that, but they front Greensboro. Waterford is a one-in, one-out subdivision that was approved in the planning jurisdiction of the city as well. They have frontage there. They don't need the stub streets for connectivity from the standpoint of safety. I get why that's something that we like, but they also front quite a bit of Old Greensboro. And leading to Old Greensboro, Mr. Pugh was talking about Shelton. There is a lot of traffic down there on a morning, down May Hinton and down on Greensboro when school is in, as I would say. Right now, it's summertime, you don't notice it as much. But, in the last year and a half, there have been 297 lots approved in the planning jurisdiction of the city of Tuscaloosa down 69 South, and 310 outside the planning jurisdiction just right down the road. So we're talking about in a short period of time, over 500 lots are there, most of which are not developed. So, I hear the argument of we need housing. Well, guess what? We've got lots. A lot of them don't have housing on them. I think that it's disingenuous to say that. I think that what we need is the appropriate development there. So, I think you're going to hear these people talk about their property values, and I understand that, connectivity, and I understand that. But our area and the traffic and the schools, I know they're asking to annex into the city of Tuscaloosa, which, I think the mention was you don't know of many. I don't think there's a place down 69 South that's in the city of Tuscaloosa that's a residential. We all know the commercial, and the reason this can happen is the lasso annexation to get the commercial properties, and I understand that. That's how they're able to connect to the city. But, I don't think that was done with the expectation that residential developments would be done. I called Mike Darrigan, and he and I played phone tag, but I did talk to Dr. Johnson, the county school superintendent, just so you'll know. Their capacity at their schools, there's portables outside and more coming. I also think we have to be fair to our school system. The city school system In this situation, what are they gonna do? Send buses down there to go to this area? I think it changes a lot of the dynamics and some of the functionality of the schools and adds expense to that. So I don't think that's the reason that was designed. I think the annexation to get the PUD is just clearly for density. No, the county does not provide for that. That's right. You know, and we struggle a lot with the growth that's coming in the county and our subdivision regs. And so that's why I appreciate the fact that you guys are here to help with that. And I just wanted to let you know too, I have great reservations about this. This doesn't happen, it doesn't, to me, it's gotta be annexed first, right, and then approved second, because you can't have one without the other. Let's say that doesn't happen. I'm telling you that if it comes to the county for approval, I would say that Mark Nelson, who just gets one vote on the county commission, would not see favorably to bring this to the commission. I don't see this happening. I think that we have to be appropriate representations of our people and our area, and I'm hearing it from not just Waterford. It's interesting, when this happened at Hinton Place, boy, I heard from the Hinton Place people. But this is one time I've heard from everybody. And what everybody's saying is, this is not what we need. Look out for us. It's our biggest investment. It's where we're gonna be. It's where we're gonna raise our families, and it's important. So I would just say to you, thanks again for what you do. I would really like you to consider what these folks are saying. It comes from the heart. And thanks for taking the time to listen to a county commissioner. And I appreciate the work we have together. I think that Mr. Cobb, that's taken over a position for the county, has done a better job maybe of communicating with some of your staff. And I hope that we see that more going forward, because we want this to be a partnership, of course. And I think it is. Okay. Anybody have any questions for me?
Very well said.
That's always great when there's no questions.
Thank you, Mr. Nelson. Ms. Harrison, we're gonna have 4 speakers that will be speaking on behalf, I believe, of the opposition.
The first person to sign up is Gerald Armstrong.
Good evening, and thank you for allowing me to speak in opposition to this proposed development. Just one remark about annexation request. Our residents of Waterford Place strongly oppose the annexation for many of the reasons that Mr. Nelson mentioned. We do believe that this is a county issue, not a city issue, and for the reasons that he covered. The residents of Waterford Place, and many of whom are in attendance here tonight, strongly oppose this Dawkins Place. We've also got members here from Hillcrest Gardens, Laurelwood, Southridge, Hunters Run, Inverness, and Woodbank, which are all nearby communities. Hillcrest Gardens is actually directly across the street from the proposed development. None of these are, like we mentioned, are in the city of Tuscaloosa. Can I get a show of hands of the folks who are here to oppose? Pretty much everybody. Thank you. As a community-minded neighborhood, we're extremely concerned about the impact that this development would have upon our neighborhood and its residents, the surrounding neighborhoods as well. Overbuilding, obviously, is going to lead to strain of our existing resources, sewer capacity, increased traffic congestion, related safety issues, as far as traffic flow and safety concerns, we're going to all talk about that. And then, of course, the diminution of our community's identity and character, and including our property value. The other speakers tonight are some of my fellow residents of Waterford Place, and they're also going to speak to some of these issues. I know that we have a very limited amount of time to speak, so one of our primary concerns is the safety and overall safety in the surrounding communities, particularly in Waterford Place with the connecting roads. Like Mark mentioned, we have one entrance in, one entrance out. The traffic is congested getting out there in the mornings when you're taking your kids to school. And we are a very quiet neighborhood, and the people that live there, we know who they are. We know who's coming into our neighborhood. They know our kids are outside playing and our grandkids, and so they respect the speed limit signs. What the applicants or the petitioner put in their application is they estimate over 1,800 daily trips, with almost 300 of those being during what you call peak hours. We oppose these connecting streets. It's going to put our residents, our children, and our grandchildren at substantial risk of harm from traffic accidents, crime, and other dangers. These high volumes of traffic can pose safety risks for pedestrians, for cyclists, for children playing outside. These pass-through roads may seem convenient, but they're going to disrupt the tranquility of our neighborhood. If the purpose for the pass-through roads is for emergency vehicle access, there are other ways to do it other than connecting those roads and having them open. We could put a gated connection there to allow emergency vehicles to enter as necessary. I don't know that that's necessarily the reason that it's there. It sounds to me it's more about traffic flow. We understand from the application that there was a traffic study completed, but none of us have had an opportunity to review that, and we'd like the opportunity to do so just to be able to address other specific traffic concerns that we may have. Traffic congestion on Greensboro, as I mentioned, and the other streets that connect it to Highway 69 South, it's already problematic, very problematic. And adding another 1,800 trips daily is going to just add to the traffic congestion, and it's going to heighten the risk of traffic accidents and related injuries and death. All of us in Waterford Place chose to spend our money to live in that community because of its unique identity, its character, the privacy, the peaceful living that we enjoy. And we watch out for each other, and we take pride in our property and our community. Merging it with an adjacent neighborhood with very dissimilar attributes, very different construction, is going to destroy the unique identity and character and value of Waterford Place. Thank you. I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, the next person signed up, Tiffany Ezel.
Name and address for the record, please.
Tiffany Ezel, 1715 Waterford Lane. I must ask what the benefit for the developer to annex this property into the city. Is it simply to skirt around the county requirements for new developments? Our elected county commissioner, Mark Nelson, has voiced his opinion that in no way would he approve this subdivision with the proposed lot sizes and setbacks. Our elected official agrees that this development would be damaging to local neighborhoods. The county would not allow this development to proceed. So if it is approved, does that mean the city would have to form new bus routes to bus these children to the nearest city school? It is my understanding that the city does not have enough bus drivers as it is. Is this development so important that we would make our kids wait at the bus stop for long periods of times to be bused across town? As you know, our sewer system is presently experiencing failures. The pump station and pipe failures ought to be enough concern. Why would you allow 301 homes to be added to a system that is already strained and at dangerous levels? Recently, Valley View Baptist Church's first level was flooded with sewer, and that cost the church thousands of dollars. Inglewood Elementary's sewer has backed up several times and flooded the bathrooms and hallways. On average, there's roughly 150 gallons per bedroom per day of wastewater flow, so this development would generate roughly 150,000 gallons per day of wastewater on a system that is already strained. It is my understanding that the Inverness pump station is a major problem alone. Allowing this project to proceed is not responsible development. The average cars per household is 3. If this development occurs, that puts 903 cars per day at an intersection with no red light system. Coming out of the development, if you go left, you encounter a four-way stop. If you come out of the development and you turn right, there is a red light, but you have to turn left to get to Highway 69. This does not include the 5,300 students at Shelton State, nor any of the neighboring subdivisions. All of that traffic will be using the same red light. This does not include traffic at Inglewood Meadows or the new development south of Inglewood Meadows. This is overdensity at its best with creating a traffic nightmare. In addition to the above traffic conditions, why would a developer think it's appropriate to allow their traffic to flow through our neighborhood? All adjacent neighborhoods, including Shelton State, have one entrance and one exit. Putting the burden into our mature, established neighborhood is insane. Responsible developments do not interrupt the privacy, security, and well-being of existing neighbors. On to the issue of stormwater and runoff. As the land sits today, it's approximately 100% permeable. This overcrowded, dense project will change that considerably. We have not seen the drainage study, but a single-point discharge is a terrible idea, and dumping all the stormwater into Waterford Lake is a terrible idea. We already have ongoing issues with our dam. It is in dire need of repair. How will this development affect the many of the houses downstream from the spillway? Our HOA attorney notified the present property owners, the Dawkins, several months ago of the potential for a dangerous condition related to the structural integrity of the dam. For the developer to take this lake into their design without even consulting us is inconsiderate and irresponsible. Yes, they said their attorneys would draft up a shared lake management plan, but we have not seen any information on this. But of course, they would defer this to their attorneys because attorneys are their best friends, and it's no secret they have multiple lawsuits with ADM, EPA, and other homeowners. These agencies do not go after developers that develop responsibly and respectfully. We are not against affordable housing. I am a home builder. I build affordable housing, but this is excessive density and it is harmful to the community and to the environment. We are not opposed to the development, but we are opposed to excessive housing per acreage. It is a fact that us local developers and builders are not doing high-density projects because we follow the rules and we want what is best for our city and for our county. Please do not call this progress for the city when in actuality it is gross, overcrowded, ill-designed development that will strain our infrastructure and devalue our biggest investment, our home. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, the next person who signed up is Mr. Graves Watkins.
And I'm Graves Watkins, 11630 McPherson Landing Road. We've heard that, everybody talks about the sewer and things like that, but you have to think young people aspire to move to neighborhoods like that. They move from the congestion and the tight fitting and the small lots and things to move to have a better place, bigger homes. That's the American dream. Everybody wants to have a nice home, big fine lot. Well, you spend your life trying to do things like that, and you wind up having something coming behind you that the cracker boxes. I mean, you need to have a place to appreciate what they've done in their life to get to where they are. And the conversations about the parking, I mean, the traffic and the sewer, everybody knows that. So I had some pictures that she was going to pull up of. So we live across the street from an existing D.R. Horton development, and I just wanted you to see in some of their documents they state that they will do a HOA and they'll follow through and they'll keep it running until a certain amount of people in the neighborhood join. And this is my Horton pictures. Do you have those?
Yeah, so I think unless you guys really want to see those, we can talk through it, but we can dig and pull them up. I think just for time's sake, you guys understand what he's saying, right. I think.
Well, it's just,
and we can talk afterwards about it.
It's just the detention ponds and things like that they say they're going to take care of. They don't. The HOAs that I don't even know if they even exist. We tried to find an HOA for Chase Landing, on the internet, and they don't have anything. So there's nobody, once the owner gets his money and goes, there's nobody there to ensure that they're going to do what they say. And we went through, that's one of the detention ponds. There's another one, and there's no way that they're doing what they're supposed to do, being unattended. This development was done in 2021, And this is what I have to look at every day when I leave my house. So, you know, them coming with, saying that they're gonna keep something going, it's just not gonna happen. There's other Kings Loop Road, got some stuff there, and it's just, it's a different pride in your environment with what we see there versus what, you know, people in Waterford aspire to have. You know, it's just a different dream, I guess, you know, so, and that's pretty much all I got. I see this across the street from the house, and you hear people say, no, they're gonna take care of it, they're gonna do the right thing, and they're not. Just, you know, 3 years down the road, and you saw what we're living with there, so. That's all I got, sir.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, the last person signed up is Harris Bolin.
Parrish Bolin, 1550 Waterford Lane, Tuscaloosa. Good evening to all. My name is Parrish Bolin, and I'm a current homeowner and resident of Waterford Place. I want to take a moment to bring to light specific questions, points, and understandings of a highly questionable development proposal from D.R. Horton adjacent to Waterford Place and several established and high-quality developments in the 69 South area. First, Commissioners, I know you are aware and understand your mission, the one posted on your website, but I want to make sure everyone here knows what it is. The mission of the Planning Division within the Office of Urban Development is to facilitate the preservation and enhancement of Tuscaloosa's built environment. So I'd like to speak to the points of preservation and enhancements. Preservation, or the activity or process of keeping something valued alive, intact, free from damage or decay. Is D.R. Horton's development proposal preserving or decaying the current adjacent developments? As example, let's look at specific homes per acre. South Ridge, 140 homes on 100 acres, 1.4 homes per acre. One entrance, one exit. Mallard Creek, 173 homes on 102 acres, 1.69 homes per acre, with one entrance and one exit. Waterford Place, 111 homes on 50 acres, 2.2 homes per acre, one entrance, one exit. D.R. Horton's proposal, 301 homes on 78 acres, 3.85 homes per acre. We need to ask ourselves, are almost 4 homes an acre and dumping its development traffic issues onto Waterford Place with total disregard for the effects preserving or decaying the current property value or quality of life? Enhancement, to increase or improve. Will dumping D.R. Horton's development traffic issues increase or improve Waterford Place subdivision? The proposed development will bring chaos. It will pose significant safety risk for the residents, pedestrians, cyclists, and children playing in the neighborhood. It will turn the current neighborhood road into a busy, congested street with constant traffic flow. The flow of construction vehicles will have a massive impact on the safety, quality of life, seriously degrading the property value and quality of life in the Waterford Place subdivision. Connecting one subdivision to another should be mutually beneficial. Connecting to the Waterford Place subdivision is no more than D.L. Horton maximizing its profitability at the expense of others. A huge negative impact to the Waterford Place subdivision. We must ask ourselves, is this the enhancement or a serious degradation to the Waterford Place surrounding subdivision? Planning. Community planning should prioritize long-term well-being over short-term gains. This is a development the county already opposes. Why should this even be entertained? Let's work together to create neighborhoods that balance growth, safety, and quality of life. Let's make the 69 South community a community people want to move to, not move out of. We are asking you to look at the facts and data of D.L. Horton's development. It should be an easy decision to vote no. Thank you for your time and attention in this matter.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Sims, you have the opportunity to address these, or you can take this information and meet with your developer. And remember, if you bring anything up that is new to the conversation, these folks have a right to.
Understood.
Okay.
I just wanted to mention just a couple of things that were certainly brought up over and over, which we knew would be, and I didn't really get into it deeply, and I won't again. But we did have a traffic study performed. It's under review at the city still. There's a specific comment that we were addressing with Mike and the traffic consultant that's coming back. But it's not something we didn't consider, of course. We're certainly aware about the sewer system. That was mentioned. We've got sewer study done, working on that. And, the last thing I'll mention too is that, it wasn't lost on us about the school system either. We have, I don't know if Zach's received a letter yet, but the developer had several conversations with the school board. And as far as I know, a favorable letter is being presented to them to be able to accept this subdivision over a long build-out term. So nothing new that I really wanted to add. Just wanted to mention that, and that we will pursue, trying to meet with the HOA if they'll.
Would you also, on the record, be willing to share with the HOAs and the interested parties that traffic study, because that was mentioned?
Sure, yes, sir. It's part of
I
the
know it's part of
public
the city,
record
but
anyway, but we're more than welcome to share anything, as to make it easier for everybody to review. So that's not a problem at all.
Did you address anything about the value of the homes versus comparative to the areas around there?
I'm certainly not a real estate expert, but I'll mention again that, that they certainly do not have in mind to build the same product over there. They consider this a separate new development. And, I hear a lot of people talk about how well they like it there. And I think that's the attractiveness of a new development there. And so, I'm not sure I can add much more there.
Well, I would say put the developer in their shoes, and how would you feel, and what would you do in terms of that sensitivity? That's what I would say.
I understand completely. It's certainly not lost on me, and I'll certainly share everything that I've heard here tonight.
Mr. Sims, has the HOA president been accessible to y'all? Have you identified that person? And
If I'm not mistaken, that was Miss Ezel that y'all heard from previously.
And so I would encourage you to hit this thing running early, and let's not wait till the last 3 days before the meeting so that
Sure.
we're not back up here in the same situation.
Understood.
Fair enough?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Sims. All right, obviously, we have to take a voice vote on this, continue this case. Sorry, sir, we've closed to public comment.
I apologize, but you said that someone could respond to something he said that was in addition to what had already been said.
I don't think he brought up anything. It'd only be the.
Yeah, he brought up the school board, sir.
Well, the schools were mentioned by the petitioner, not by those in opposition. So we are waiting to hear something from the city on a staff level. I don't think addressing anything further about the city schools is really pertinent at this point.
I'm with the county schools, that
Okay.
was my question.
Well,
statement was that the board had been addressed. I'm on the county board of education.
Bring him on
Not
up.
been addressed in any way.
Since you're on this county board, won't you come forward real quick and make that on the record, just so we can hear that? Again, state your name, address, position, and if you have or have not.
Yes, sir. I'm Neil Guy, 1751 Hunters Run in Tuscaloosa. I'm on the Tuscaloosa County Board of Education. I'm the representative for the 69 South District. And his statement that a Board of Education had been addressed, I am not aware of any conversation with the Tuscaloosa County Board of Education. Now, if this is the Tuscaloosa City Board, that is a different issue.
I interpreted
It's the city that he's.
Okay, that's all I wanted to clarify.
Thank you very
much.
much. Thank you, sir. All right, so again, what I was going to say is that we are going to take a voice vote on continuing this case. As you can see, there's a lot of interest in this, Mr. Sims. We hope that you will take all these notes and facts and information back to your developer. Strongly encourage if they want to proceed, and they need to work very closely with the county commissioner, city school, county school, in these neighborhoods. I think if there's not significant changes that are accommodating to these parties, then you see what you're up against. So, any other comments from this body, commission members? All right, having heard none, Commissioner, before we have 4 companion case items that are, petitioners requested a continuance to next month. All those in favor of continuance, say aye. Aye. Those opposed, ayes have it. These cases are continued. Thank you. You are free to leave if you like.
I don't know, it's so dense.
Yeah, well, I understand that you want. That you want the horse pasture to stay in your backyard because it's, but that's, there's also that, right? I mean,
Yeah,
there's a,
yeah.
Yeah,
you could use the development,
You
yeah.
do need, I don't know how anybody starting out buys a house these days. So, maybe they'll find a
Mark?
way to do something out there. Oh, we do. Anyway, maybe we'll get moving.
Been trying to. They keep coming back with a bad penny.
I know, right?
Okay.
Can y'all go, please?
Oh, yeah.
Bill, get these people out.
It's traffic.
It did look like
Yeah. Are they going, like you said, with the new zone?
Should talk about the side doors.
Yeah, hug it.
Yeah.
Just putting on a reunion day here.
That's a good point. That's a good point. Can we do it because of over the city, right? That's a good point. No, that's a great question. I can really feel it.
Since that neighborhood next to this one, city, can we still put some on the road?
That's a damn good
I told you
question.
that's a good question.
That's a.
Now, only thing I would think of, if it's city, if it's police jurisdiction, you might.
Yeah,
If
that
it's
could be.
police
Yeah,
jurisdiction,
that makes sense.
Even though it's in the county.
Yeah.
No, but that's a great question.
Fire and say health, safety, welfare. I mean, yeah.
Right. That's a great question, though.
But last couple of weeks ago, we addressed that issue.
like they want.
I'll be all coming in that way every time.
Not all of us, yes. I need to get a badge they've offered.
Okay, yeah.
All righty.
All right. I think we're in a good spot.
Here we go.
All right, I think we're ready to move forward.
Carry on.
All right. We have one rezoning request for you all this evening at Z0924. Eddie Thompson is petitioning to rezone approximately 0.17 acres.
We can hear you.
Okay. At 1514 3rd Avenue. This is from R3 to BGO, and this is in Council District 2. So here we are. We are just south of 15th Street. You've got Domino's just northwest of where we are. Here's the zoning map today. It's R3. It's adjacent to BGO and across the street from MX3, our mixed zone. And here's an aerial overview of that property. Today it sits as a single-family home. Here's some pictures from the street view. These are older photos. That trash is not there anymore, so just ignore that. But right at the corner is a party store, gas station, and then you have commercial just to the east as well. They're requesting to rezone from R3 to BGO to allow for the use of an insurance office. They would like to renovate the existing single-family home into a commercial office space for insurance purposes. Here's just a quick site plan of the property and how it sits on the site.
Bring that back. Leave that there for a second.
Yeah, I zoomed quick. Looking at framework, this does not conform. We've identified that as it's shown in the future land use as traditional neighborhood core, but more specifically, we've identified it as that mixed residential district 2. So the zoning request does not conform, and the intended use also does not conform to framework. Here's that future land use character map. You'll see they're right at the cutoff of that commercial zone that we've identified. And then looking at our current permitted uses and our zoning ordinance, I've highlighted and bolded the BGO allowed by right uses. And so that commercial zone is more geared for office space, not larger commercial developments necessarily. Continuing on with the permitted uses. There are some footnotes and the special exception uses. Do you have any questions for staff?
Yes, I do. Can we go back to the overview so I can see which piece of property it is?
Yeah.
Is it the one on the corner or the one in the middle?
Is this one good, or you want me to go back one more?
Which one are we on now?
No, there's,
The house in between.
and those are still residential lots in between it, on either side of it.
Everything south of it. So that piece that has the X through it, that's a commercial property.
Okay.
That's commercial property?
What
It
is
is.
that? What is there? I know it's commercial, but what
I'll
is
show
it?
you the building. It's Alabama Aid that owns it. I'm not
It's what?
too
I'm
sure
sorry.
if their office is in it. It's Alabama Aid that is the property owner.
Alabama Hearing Aid Center of, and
There
then
we
we don't
go.
have the rest.
Okay.
Also zoned BGO.
Okay. And the rezoning request is BGO for this property also?
That's right. And it's for the house on the left in this picture.
Is
Any
the
other
property-
questions or petitioners?
Did you have a question?
Is it occupied? Is it owner occupied? Is it rented? I mean, is it being used as a residence?
I believe it's vacant, but we'll let the petitioner verify that.
Keep that being said, petitioner.
I'm the owner of the property, Eddie Thompson. My address is 2032 First Avenue. This is George Lake. I own the property. He wants to purchase it as a,
And I'll be turning it into an insurance office.
Name and address for the record.
It's George Lake, address 3220 Cherokee Road, Tuscaloosa.
Anything you want to add about this request?
oh, well, it's vacant. We have remodeled it. It doesn't look anything like that now. So it's hardwood floors have been redone. It's in really good shape right now. It's got parking, concrete parking in the back. There's alleyways between the avenues there, and there's concrete parking in the back. Now, I don't know that it would be enough. I think he said you needed 6 parking
You know,
places,
need to add one space, I think, so.
but there's room back there.
Do you have a picture of that back area?
just don't think you can see it.
Go,
because of
go to the
trees.
aerial, maybe you can,
Back there?
Yeah, like right where your, right there where your area is, all from one end to the other is a pad pretty much for parking.
that alleyway, what's the shape of that?
I mean, it's not in great shape, but it's,
Well, the reason I ask that, if there's a requirement of 6 parking spaces, if you don't have them in the front, I'm assuming you're planning on using the back.
Yeah, there's a concrete pad in the back for 3, and there's, you could say 1 or 2 in the front, so we're prepared to put the parking places that's required, and 1 being handicap.
And the 6 places are for employees, or, I mean, how many people are going to be working there?
There'll be 3 people working there. And we don't expect a lot of traffic, and I
Right.
ask people, when's the last time you saw your insurance agent? We just don't, you don't do that anymore a lot of times, so we don't expect a lot of traffic.
Mr. Pond, you seem to have a desire to jump in the conversation.
Yeah, so I think we both have something to say. One, the six spaces is just on-site spaces that would be required per zoning, not necessarily specifically related to how many people they have. So, but I think that is a good question to clarify, because if there's only 2 employees at any given time, how many people would be at the insurance office? And I think Mr. Gardner
Yeah,
had some-
so I just wanted to make them aware that they'll need to submit a land development permit to add the additional parking spaces.
So how many are they currently granted with the front area as it exists? So is that 1, 2, 3?
Yeah, we'd probably have to look a little bit further into it just to see what they'd be allowed to do, paving
My only
wise.
concern is if you start like pulling the LDP on this thing, and, we've rezoned it, well, and then they get into the budgeting of this project, and they go, wow, that's too much to budget out for this. And then now we got is BGO.
I think what we could do is work with them between now and when they get to city council, and they have a 90-day buffer kind of there to figure out whether or not they want to pursue the rezoning to council if they wanted to go that route.
Yeah, we'll have questions like the long drive in the front that goes to the side of the house, is that counted as 1 space, 2 space, 3 spaces?
That's the question I had.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying is that we need to.
If that's your access,
front yard with parking.
if that's your access to your parking lot, it can't count as any of your parking spaces. Because a car parks there and it blocks your accessibility to get in or get out.
That's kind of the heartburn I have, is if we rezone it before, and they don't fully understand it before it gets to council and are agreeable to incur those costs to get it up to where it needs to be, then we've now rezoned it to BGO. I'm not afraid of doing that, I'm just saying that I think as the owner, because you're gonna retain ownership, correct?
No, I'm gonna sell it.
You're gonna sell it, okay,
Yes,
so
yeah.
Mr. Lake's gotta know what those costs are.
For sure,
Yeah.
that's right.
I mean, this
But
day and age,
the
costs can get.
backyard is fenced in to a certain point, kind of where see that building in the back, kind of right there, and the rest of it is either concrete or gravel, slag. So there's room for 6 parking places back there. He would have to concrete and stripe it, I think.
Yeah, and again, we'd just have to look at it more fully than just an aerial to see if they have the room for it, but.
This is a prime case for a conditional, but we don't like doing conditionals. That's my only fear, is there enough time for you to get the numbers together to make sure it's gonna work before it goes to council?
A number and a sign.
Yeah.
You have a
Yeah.
sign in place, the LDP.
Yep.
So,
Are y'all comprehending what we're coming from and understand what we're saying? That,
What'd you say?
well, I mean, do you understand what you need to do before it goes to council? I think the council's gonna really need to see that land development plan, and you gotta fully understand those costs to be able to pull the trigger, because
Right.
I would, if you can't pull it off, I'm not in favor of rezoning it to BGO. But if you think you can.
So who
I'll
do we
let the
need to
councilman
talk
decide.
to help us get the layout that y'all would be?
I think staff would.
Yeah, we can work with y'all outside of this to
Okay.
give you the next steps on what that
So
might
then the
look like.
question becomes, what's the time period between if it got approved tonight, it's 90 days?
90 days.
My question, from your experience and your ability, in 90 days, can you pull this all together.
Does it have to be done, or does it have to be just a plan?
I think it's gotta be a pretty good plan that this,
Yeah.
this body here is
Pretty
gonna
detailed
approve
plan.
and stamp and that they're gonna pass.
Yeah,
I'm
when
not
when it
so-
comes before the council, I'm sorry, I would like to know the details, well detailed plan of how you're gonna be able to maintain and achieve the required parking.
So the plan would have to be done, the parking wouldn't have to,
Yeah.
the actual physical parking wouldn't have to be done at that time, just the plan itself, an engineered design that
Yeah.
shows
I think-
parking widths, layout, access, turning radiuses.
Yeah, we're gonna get with them and them tell us exactly what we need, and then we'll figure out what that's gonna cost.
All right, that's gonna happen, obviously. My question being, is that something that can happen in 90 days, or should you ask for a continuance to get 30 more days to fully get your information to make a prudent decision? That's up to you. I mean, you have the right to call for this
I
vote.
think 90 days is plenty of
Plenty,
time.
oh, yeah,
That's,
yeah.
Well, as long as staff is willing to agree with the plan and it's approved by the council.
Yeah, well, my brother, who owns this property with me, is a civil engineer. He can do the plan pretty easily, I think.
George, are the neighbors opposed to you changing it, or do you know?
we talked to the Forest Lake HOA and the reservations they have, and we met with 4 of them, I think. And I think they decided they weren't going to publicly say they weren't in favor of it, but they worry about the creep of commercial. But I don't know how long it would take for
They said
that to
someone
happen.
might email if they, did anybody email a dissension or anything? Nothing?
Yeah, I mean, there's commercial is right beside it, and
Which one is the commercial?
the one
north
toward
of that.
15th Street.
That's the old hearing aid building. It's
Yeah.
vacant, well, it's not a business.
It's being used as residential now.
As what?
you know, It's being used as residential. In my opinion, if it's commercial, it's going to be in better shape, taken care of better than residential.
Mr.
And I-
Pons, I'm very familiar with the homeowners in Forest Lake, and so they're very vocal. Have we received any opposition to this project by
We have
email?
not, no, ma'am.
They were very accommodating, actually. There was a couple, I think 2 of them that were, mentioned the creep. It's the only thing that was their concern and everything. And they said if we have any dissension, we'll email them, so.
I'm just proud we've got an applicant that talks to the homeowner association.
Do I?
I said, I'm just proud we have an applicant that talks to the homeowner association. Thank you.
Yeah, and we told them we would be keeping an eye on at least that street for the betterment of that little area there.
Any other questions for a petitioner? Any other comments you want to make?
I don't think so.
Okay.
So just get with.
Well, we
Okay.
got to first decide, this body's got to make a decision first,
Okay.
then you'll know. So that being said, thank you. Anyone in the audience care to speak for or against this petition request? We have not received anything via email. All right, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Close it for public. I kind of hear the homeowners association's concern, and I think some of the commissioners probably have the same concern about the creep.
You gonna leave with it before we vote?
We'll work with them. We'll work with them.
Well, that's,
Yeah.
well,
You need to work real hard.
Well, the problem's gonna be if the vote's not what they wanted to hear.
It would concern me more if the house
Oh.
next to, if there was if it was between, I mean, but a service station on the corner and an office next door,
Yeah, I mean,
and no response from the homeowners association, which is a very active and aggressive
And there's
association.
but there are some more businesses that are going in that corridor, and there will be some creep. But I think most of,
Well, we're getting the new Starbucks a block over. So you're right, it could creep.
they'll be in a, probably, I'd hate to say it's mostly, as soon as I say it's probably mostly rental property, then there'll be homeowners, but
I think you're right. Any other comments? All right, Commission, before us, we have a rezoning request, Z0924, to rezone from R3 to BGO. Do you have a motion and a second?
motion.
Second.
Mr. Rumsey?
Yes.
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 Yes, motion approved.
Zach, did you call them, tell them they got approved?
I'll let them
Want to let
know.
them know?
We'll make sure we get that
That's a
parking
first,
plan.
hey, that's a first. I've never seen that.
But for the record, I mean, I'm gonna say it's in front of the council representative, I mean, they need to have a plan.
Fully agree. Fully agree.
I mean, I don't,
They need to get a clue.
all right.
All right, moving on to our preliminary plats. We have S 4724. This is the Rosemary subdivision plat number 1, being a resurvey of part of Lot 3 of AP Lee subdivision. It's consisting of 7 single-family residential lots and 1 open space lot on approximately 1.78 acres located at 2215 Harrison Street. This is in Council District 2. Ms. Howard, you are on fire this evening.
I am, thank you.
Here is the vicinity map of where we are. We are just off of Hargrove, tucked in between Harrison and Prince Avenue, just catty corner from Hillcrest. Zooming in, we're looking at these 2 parcels. And here's the plat with contours and without. So what they are proposing are 7 single-family residential lots, all facing this public cul-de-sac with sidewalking throughout this development. And they are requesting a variance from valley gutter they're requesting to do valley gutter in lieu of standard curb and gutter.
Engineering on that?
We're okay with those.
Okay. Petitioner,
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. I'm Michael McGuire. I had something on my mind. Michael McGuire, McGuire and Associates, my division of GSA. Basically, this came before y'all, I think, in 2018 and was approved. Actually, construction plans were done. It was going to be built, and not sure exactly why it stopped, but my client, Palmer Construction, is purchasing it and moving forward with it. Almost an identical situation with the exception of we did add one home. I know detention was probably about our only concern, which I think we're going to be able to address that. I've been speaking with Mr. Gardner about that a couple of times, so I think we're good to go on the infrastructure and meet the RD1 requirements. If anybody's got any questions?
I have a question. Are these 3 parking spaces per house?
4 parking spaces. Our
okay.
client wanted 4 per home.
4 per home.
So make him aware when he gets ready to build those parking spaces, it will require an LDP for that number of parking spaces.
Will require, I'm sorry, not.
An LDP.
Oh, okay.
These won't be, if you build that parking arrangement like that, you can't do that with just a building permit. You'll need an LDP. Any 4 spaces or more in a parking arrangement requires an LDP.
Okay. Yeah, no. I'm just gonna ask, could we do it as part of our construction plans and actually build the parking spaces, driveway, and a building pad?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Mike, are these single family?
Yes.
You just want-
But a lot of drivers.
I
mean,
appreciate it.
bedroom.
No, it's
Good for the
It's
aesthetics,
a
you know.
4-bedroom house. He's Todd Palmer, of course, is the owner. He's building a couple of these in Forest Lake. They're actually nice little homes.
4-bedroom house?
Yes.
How many bathrooms?
4
I believe 4.
4? Okay.
Just want to go on record
That would be student
that
houses.
we have a
Like
maximum of
student
3
Correct.
unrelated. 3 unrelated can live together in one
These are
dwelling.
student houses?
I'm sorry?
Student housing?
I honestly can't answer that as far as, I know it's single-family homes. I know he does have a lot of homes that he rents.
3 friends with 1 brother.
Okay. Any other questions for petitioner? Thank you. Anyone care to speak for or against this petition request? All right, we'll close. I'll defer our council representative. Since it's your district, anything you want to add or say, or? I'm not putting you on the spot. I just thought I'd at least give you the
A lot
opportunity.
is going through my head. So, can we go back one slide, please? Yes, right there. Okay. And there was any opposition? Nope. All right, I have no comments.
Thank you.
And we did approve it in 2018?
Mike, is that a pond on the back? Is that
I don't think so, no. It may
water
just-
back there?
May be holding water.
Drainage? Okay.
It's, they started construction and actually graded it and then stopped.
Okay.
You know that? I don't.
All right, Commission, before us, we have S 4724, Rosemary subdivision, 1 variance request, engineering has no issues with. We have a motion and a second.
Motion.
Second.
Ms. Hornsby?
Yes.
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 Yes, motion approved.
All right, next case, we have S 4821, previously the McNelly Fair subdivision, now the Maxwell McNelly subdivision. It's consisting of 4 lots on approximately 13.4 acres, located at 5900, 5920, and 6006 New Watermelon Road. This is in Council District 3. Here is the vicinity map of where we are. We're along New Watermelon, near the McWright's Ferry intersection, looking at these 5-6 parcels. Here's the plat with contours and without. This is to create 4 lots. This is zoned R1. They're putting each existing home on its own lot, and then they're leaving a larger 3.5 acre lot, lot 3, towards the back, which does not have any structure on it today. With this configuration, they're requesting variances from half-street improvements, cap sewer, lot configuration, and sidewalks.
Engineering. Engineering, you want to answer those variance requests?
We're in agreement with those requests.
Thank you. Petitioner?
Mr. Chairman, members of the commission, Chris Centel Engineering in Tuscaloosa. The purpose of Lot 3 and the reason it's like it is if you see, and can I operate this thing so I can show them? That lot right there is an existing lot, and it doesn't have any buildable space. It's in a hole. So what they've wanted is, it's an inheritance property. It's for family division. So in order to make Lot 3 usable for the inheritor, they want to give it street access as well. So, and it will be a shared drive with Lot 4. So, and we're providing an easement with that.
Sure there'll be a shared use agreement on that?
Yes. It's family, so most definitely.
Well, it's not about the family, but one day it might not be family.
Mm-hmm.
Most definitely.
So we gotta have something in writing on that, on the
Does
plat.
that, Mike, does that, with the relocation, the project that's going up there on Wright's Ferry, isn't New Watermelon Road gonna move some to the, I guess it would be the east?
It will south of this property. The frontage here, it doesn't change.
It's gonna, the accesses are gonna tie into the existing road now. It's not gonna be moved over.
That's correct.
Okay.
Yep.
Any other questions for petitioner? Thank you, sir. Anyone care to speak for or against this petition request? Having heard none, bring back up the variance request, please. Commission, before us, we have S 4824 McNeely Fair subdivision with 4 variance requests. Engineering has no issues with. Do we have a motion and a second?
Motion approved.
Second.
Mr. Rumsey?
Yes.
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 Yes, motion approved.
All right, next case, we have S 4924. This is the Pitts Family Division, consisting of 5 lots on approximately 6.32 acres, located at and around 10371 Little Sandy Road. This is not in city limits. We are down 69 South, off of Little Sandy, just south of Bobby Miller. Here's an aerial overview. Here's the plat with contours and without, so it's to give that little triangle southern piece its own lot, Lot 5, and then creating about 1 to 1.5 acre lots across the street. There is an existing easement located through Lot 1 to get you to that northern landlocked parcel. And then variances requested are capped sewer and additional right-of-way.
Engineering?
We're okay with those requests.
You, any requests for petitioner?
Mr. Chairman, members of the commission, Chris Centel Engineering. This is a family division. Lots 1, 2, and 3 are going to family members, the children. So, and then lot 5 is existing. So there's an easement in place to get to the rear lots, and that's going to remain in place with the plat. So, and we did give additional right-of-way. We just didn't give as much as the county had requested, and we got a waiver from the county prior to this meeting.
Is that in writing?
Yeah,
You submit that to staff?
Yes.
Do you have that?
Yeah, if you'll notice on the plat, they're showing that they dedicated 5 feet on either side to get to 50. But the county standard is 60 for a non-curbed and gutter street, so that's the waiver he's saying that he got from the county.
Anyone care to speak for or against this petition request? Having heard none, for us, Commissioner, we have S 4924 Pitts Family Division 2 variance request. Engineering has no issues with. You have a motion and a second.
Motion. Second.
Ms. Hornsby?
Yes.
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 Yes, motion approved.
All right, Commission, before I introduce this case, the petitioner notified us at the beginning of the meeting that they would like to request to withdraw this. So we'll let them come do that.
Petitioner, please come forward and make that request.
Chris Centel Engineering. I had a conference call at 4:35. So the 3 siblings that were going to divide this land are extremely elderly. One of them was kind of didn't understand what was going on. He's 96. So this may come back in the future, but he just was not ready to let go of family land. So the 2 sisters said, let's just withdraw it. So that's my request.
Commissioner, we have a continuance request for S 5020. Is it withdrawal or continuance? Withdrawal it. Okay, withdrawal. Withdrawal of S 5024 Ruth Bibb Wilson Estate. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Ayes have it.
All right, next up, we have S 5124. This is the Sanford Farley subdivision. It's consisting of 3 lots on approximately 54.21 acres located at 18563 and 18603 John Swindle Road. This is not in city limits, and we are very far north, just barely on the lake. You see the lake at the very top where this parcel is touching. Looking at the aerial overview, we are going from 2, 3, 4 lots, and they're requesting to do 3 in total. This is the plat with contours and without. So parceling off frontage with lots 1 and 3, and then they have the larger 30-plus acres in the back, which is lot 2. The big change that's happening is here. Taking that, getting rid of it, and that's where that new line is going. Then clearing up the southern parcels. They're requesting variances from cap sewer, drainage study, lot configuration, as well as street frontage. There is an existing easement shown here that leads you to that landlocked parcel.
What is the little rectangle by lot 3? I can't
What's that?
read it. Yeah, that, what's that?
That is not included with this subdivision.
Oh, okay. Okay, I got you.
Engineering on the variance request.
So we're in agreement, but just to clarify, we're trying to be real consistent about lots having public street frontage. But this easement's been in place for quite a while that uses or gives you the access to lot 2. So we're going to agree to being okay with the request for waiver of public street frontage on this one.
What's the original lot configuration? So you're saying there was an easement.
It's not included with this land, it's just north of the land.
Right, yeah.
And it's where.
That's going to connect to the big lot, right, 2?
Yeah, that's right.
We had one prior to. All right, let's hear from petitioner.
I hope I can do this justice. Chris Centel Engineering. This is all family. So the original lot line here and here, they're removing. So, and it's going to Mr. Farley, which is also as a relative. This whole piece here is common family land. It's owned by all of them. They want to leave it that way because it gives them access to North River. So they use it. This is also a relative, and this is, from what I understand, this is also a relative as well, I think. And I don't want to misspeak, but I do know that they're all relatives. So, and they granted them easements to get to it, and they don't even use it because they got access with their properties, existing properties now. So, and this piece right here is also will be a relative at some point too. So,
Is this the dog
yes,
training
it's
place?
Mr. Farley's dog training facility.
We've seen this about 7 times.
Well, there's a whole lot of subdivision below us.
That's where they're doing the shooting and all that, dynamite.
I don't know about that.
All right, sorry.
Yeah. Anyone else care to speak for or against this request? Please come forward and state your name and address for the record.
Mike Sanford, 18563 Johns Wonder Road. This is just family lot. Me and Ricky Farley's my cousin. We're just swapping land, getting ready to give to our kids in the future. No subdivision, just trying to square up property for future family. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else care to make a comment for or against? Having heard none, commission before us, we have S5124, the Sanford Farley subdivision. For variance request, engineering has no issues with. Do a motion and a second.
Motion approved.
Second.
Mr. Rumsey.
Yes.
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 Yes, motion approved.
Next up is S5224. This is Park Forest number 8, being a resurvey of a part of Lot 4, Park Forest number 2. It's consisting of 2 lots on approximately 1.68 acres located at 12021 Daffrin Road. This is not in city limits. Here's the vicinity map. We are off of 82. Zooming in, here is that piece of property we're looking at. It's 1 lot today, and they're requesting to split it into 2. There's the plat with contours, and without creating 2.58 acre parcels. They're requesting variances from half-street improvements, a drainage study, as well as sidewalks.
Engineering.
So we're okay with those requests. However, Daffrin Road is it's a major collector. So we're only want to have one driveway access. I need them to stipulate on the final plat that there'll be a shared use access and only one driveway.
Very clear. Petitioner.
Mr. Chairman, members of the commission, Marty Montgomery, Hinkle Land Surveying, representing James Hosmer in the division of this lot. He just wants to give his friend half his lot. And Mr. Hosmer is here, and so is the one he's giving it to, and they're fine with the one access.
Any questions for petitioner? Thank you. Anyone care to speak for or against this petition request? Okay, having heard none, commission before us, we have S5224, Park Forest number 8. 3 variance requests. However, there is a desire from the city engineer to have a shared use agreement for the one access point to Daffrin Road. That being said, do I have a motion and a second?
Motion.
Ms. Hornsby.
Yes.
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 Yes, motion approved.
Next case is S 5324. This is Highland Lakes Phase 3, a resurvey of lots 1 and 2 of Highland Lakes Phase 2. It's consisting of 3 lots on approximately 8.14 acres located at 14500 Highland Lakes Lane. This is not in city limits. Here is the vicinity map. We're up 69 North, just before that bridge. Zooming in, here is the aerial view just off of House Bend Road. And then here is that plat with contours and without. So today they sit as 2 lots, and they are proposing to take that southernmost lot and split off the lot 5, which is 1.78 acres. And in doing that, they're activating lot 2R, which is just north, to add access easements. They don't want any direct access to House Bend Road. So they're proposing to have an easement running along House Bend Road, as well as immediately north to access to lot 2R. And then they're requesting variances from capped sewer and half-street improvements.
Engineering.
We're okay with those requests.
Thank you. Petitioner.
Kevin Hinkle with Montgomery and Hinkle Inc., Professional Land Surveyors, 203 Harbor Road East, representing Mr. Pickle in his request to have that lot split and adding the easement so that we wouldn't have any more traffic coming in and off of House Bend Road, except for the area where it already goes in, and it is gated, and they're adding the additional easement for driveway access that's the only change to lot 2 would be the additional easement. And that's where he's going to build his forever home, on lot 2.
Any question for petitioner? Thank you. Anyone care to speak for or against this petition request? All right, having heard none, Commissioner, before us, we have S 5324 Highland Lakes Phase 3, 2 variance requests. Engineering has no issues with it. Do we have a motion and a second?
Motion.
Second.
Mr. Rumsey.
Yes.
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 Yes, yes, motion approved, sorry.
I'm showing that address. Is that address right? Is it Highland Lakes Lane? Because I'm showing that in Birmingham. And
All right, moving into our last case for the evening, we have S 5424. This is Smith second resurvey of a part of Golden Acres, a resurvey of lot 20R, Smith resurvey of a part of Golden Acres, a resurvey of lots 19 and 20 Golden Acres. It's consisting of 2 lots on approximately 0.92 acres located at 6350 and 6360 Golden Acres Drive. This is not in city limits. Here is a vicinity map. We are southeast of Woodland Forest, in between Buttermilk and 37. Here is that parcel that we'll be looking at. It sits as 1 lot today. They're proposing to do 2. So here's the plat with contours. And without, they have a joint driveway easement at the top that's shaded. And they're requesting a variance from capped sewer.
Engineering, real quick on the variance request.
We concur.
We had the conversation, Chair, Vice Chair, about the existing structure.
That's right.
Had to be removed or moved.
They've shifted the lot line to be off of the.
They did shift
off
it?
of the building, they did.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Petitioner.
Kevin Hinkle, Montgomery and Hinkle Inc., 203 Harbor Road East. This is hopefully the final step in settling an estate where this owner was supposed to get half of a lot, and we did a re-subdivision because of some construction issues that created this lot. Now she gets half the lot, and to settle the final settlement of the estate.
what was the last thing you said, Kevin?
It's the final settlement for the folks that live in the existing residence to get their half of the lot.
So are they gonna build on the other lot?
Well, that lot, turns out it holds the usage for the trailer beside it. Or the storm shelter and part of their septic system, I think.
on the
She was
lot.
a pretty adamant about, well, y'all are just gonna have to do another half of a deal. It was to settle the estate, and she's required to get half of lot 20. And we had to create a lot 20 for her to get half of a lot 20 to settle the estate. It was written up.
Zach, let me ask you a question. I mean, I don't want to cause any issues here, but the carport canopy that's outside the building line, but it's inside the 10-foot minimum building line. We're creating a variance requirement to do this. It doesn't have to go to ZBA to do that?
So it's not in city limits, so they don't have that. It's not in city limits, so they can't request a variance from ZBA, but also, the requirement is 5 feet. Obviously, this looks a little bit closer than 5 feet. If it was destroyed, it would not be able to be rebuilt in that location.
I mean, we can move it over 5 feet.
I don't understand it, but, okay.
We can move it over 5
I
feet.
mean,
I mean, that's not an issue. It's just to make sure that the lot's in half and it's a.
This is not
it's a
city limits,
portable
I'm okay.
con-
Okay.
Carport.
Okay.
The new lot's got a storm shelter, that's positive.
Okay. Are they gonna let the other lot
Yeah,
use the storm
yeah.
shelter?
Yes, sir.
They're gonna share the storm shelter?
Well, the other lot's gonna own it.
Shared use for agreement
Whoa,
for.
say it again?
I think that that the lot becomes the,
The new lot becomes the storm shelter owner.
well, the lot beside it on Gerald Wayne Smith.
Is he
I
gonna
don't know
lock
that I
the
wanna
storm
know.
shelter?
How's he gonna own the storm shelter when it's not
Well,
his property?
He'll own the lot, and then he can do anything he wants to on his own
He
property.
said he's gonna own the lot.
Yes. He's gonna own the
So why is
lot.
he subdividing? The sell,
It's an estate. You have to do
Because
whatever.
they've got to resolve it.
We've been dealing with
Squabbling.
family business tonight.
Yeah, we are.
all right, thank you, sir. You
Kevin,
want to
how
kill
do you
speak for or
find
against? Sit down
I
quick.
don't
Kevin.
like big
Sit down.
subdivisions and having.
Yeah, while you're ahead, Jeff.
I move we approve.
All right, all right, Commission is there any variance? Oh, yeah. Commission S 5424 Smith's second resurvey, 1 variance coast cap sewer, engineering has issued with, have a motion and a second.
Motion.
Second.
Ms. Hornsby?
Yes.
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 Yes, motion approved. Anything from staff?
Just a really quick reminder, we have our special called framework meeting next Wednesday, June 26th. So will see you all there.
Thank you. Meeting adjourned.
There was a reason, Kevin, you're last on the agenda on this one, right?